Welcome to our open tabs. I'm Mara.
Wait. Oh, I didn't know we were doing it right.
Oh, that's right. That's not right. It's welcome to, and then you say our open tabs. That's right. Welcome to
our open tabs. I'm Jess.
I'm Mara. And we definitely are not filming this after we've recorded the entire episode.
Of course not. We're starting at the beginning, like proper podcasters.
Yeah, so we're smoothly now going to transition into our discussion of just
what we've been up to. What's been going on?
Catching up on where the F we've been.
Instead of who the fuck did I marry, where the fuck did Mara and Jess go?
Yeah. Where in the world is Jess, Mara, San Diego?
I needed this. My cheeks hurt. I've been laughing.
Oh, good. Yeah, see, there you go, guys. Teaser. So we'll throw you to definitely us still right now.
Yes. The
transition. And scene.
Transition.
Audio.
Yeah, I was like, wait, that sounds weird. And it was not, it was coming out of my computer and I was hearing it through I'm like, wait.
Okay, yeah.
Technology seems to be going backward. Like things are seeming to become like more complicated, less user-friendly. Like, I don't get it.
Well, and I've been seeing these things about how these, like, I guess kids that grow up with technology, they're so used to apps, like they don't even know how to navigate, like
computer. Like, I've seen so many videos where they're like, they've assumed that they're digital natives, but I forgot someone else used another term.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't even think of that because, like, at least
like they don't have typing class anymore.
Yeah,
they don't
I have like computer
basic,
class.
Yeah.
Use Word and PowerPoint. And I mean, to age myself, I remember distinctly being in middle school when Google premiered. And
I don't even remember when it happened.
Google. Like, and I was like, what a weird word.
Yeah, I do remember using Ask Jeeves.
I was going to say, did they keep that from the evangelicals? Because y'all could try to look up some crazy stuff.
No, but we did have like Uber lockdown on our school computers of like what we could look up. So
yeah, Ask Jeeves was what I used before then.
And Dogpile, that was the other one.
Yes. Oh my god, I always ask people about Dogpile and no one ever seems to remember.
I remember Dogpile. Yeah. I felt like it was Ask Jeeves was like cooler.
Yeah, because you would like put in
better.
A question even though he never really.
No.
You'd be like, that wasn't it. Let me try again. But yeah, we grew up with computers and learning. I remember, typing class and like taking, typing test and all the other things. And someone was saying as a librarian, they feel like they equally help really like Gen Alpha and also maybe like younger Gen Z and boomers. Like the same amount, which is, I was like, that's crazy to me.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's super interesting to think about like what computer literacy really means. Mm-hmm. And then I was also thinking the other day, because I was in a meeting where like everybody's presenting these different ideas for things that we might build with our technology. And somebody was talking about the user interface and they said, think of it like Clippy, but for this system. And I was like, Clippy! Oh my gosh, pour one out for fucking Clippy.
A real G.
For real.
He was in the trenches.
He was like there to help. Whether you wanted him to be there or not, he was there.
I do need help.
I do. So they need to bring Clippy back for Gen Alpha so that he can help their ass out because they don't know what they're doing.
Yes, I've seen so many videos like that, and I because I've seen different people with like talk about it from job application standpoint or different things, and I was like, wow, I just assumed growing up with it like they would just know, but it makes sense since they've grown up in an app-driven world.
Yeah, that they just don't like. I think some of them don't even really understand the concept of a desktop or a laptop.
Yeah, because like because I know a lot of schools use Chromebooks, which is a Chromebook a laptop or is it just like a tablet with a keyboard?
I think it's like a souped up tablet. Like I think it's like a lablet Like, maybe one step above, like, the iPad Pro with its, keyboard attachment, like, I think it's, like, one step up from that, maybe. I don't know.
Because I feel like that's like even my youngest sibling just graduated high school last May, so he was using Chromebooks. But yeah, it's like because I remember when we got a desktop at
Yeah.
home, and I was like,
Oh,
"Oh my god, I could play solitaire."
I remember so distinctly that one year for Christmas, my gift was them putting in whatever drive you needed to be able to burn CDs.
Ooh!
And it was a cultural reset at my
You are
household.
fancy.
Yeah,
My friend always
uh
had to burn CDs for me. I did not have the CD burner.
yeah, yeah, it was like I don't even remember what it was. I just remember that, like, it was janky looking on the tower of the desktop, and,
Yes.
like, you had to install that specifically because, like, the normal CD-ROM driver didn't necessarily, allow you to do that, so these
Yeah,
kids, they don't know.
I mean, because even so many I have a desktop now that's a gaming computer, so, like, I have a
Yeah,
tower, but most people, if you have a computer, you have a laptop, or people just have iPads or tablets, so it's like, yeah, I didn't even think about that, just all the different programs we
yeah.
had to learn to use on a computer.
Yeah. Well, and, like, when I was in my first year of college, I had to take, like, a programming class as a part of
Mhm.
this, like, program I was in.
Oh.
Or sorry, a computer programming class for part of this, like, academic program thing.
Mhm.
But I don't know that they, like, have to take those kinds of classes anymore.
I doubt it.
I don't think so.
It's
Hello
yeah,
world, come on. Like,
it's
you're
so it's just like I'm also like, what do they and I mean, I know there's stuff like Prezi, but, like, do they not have to make presentations in school, or what do they write their papers in? I guess you could write in Google Docs.
I think, like, Google Docs/Sheets/Slides, like, I just think that's what most of them are used to using.
Wow, what a world.
Which is interesting because,
Old.
like, I've had to, like, adapt to those
Mhm.
'cause it's similar to the Microsoft ones, but it's not
But
exact,
there's
so, like
differences.
yeah,
I
sometimes when I
never
look
learned
into
proficiency in Excel. I definitely knew more, like, do you call them equations for Excel at one point? Like, I
formula,
knew
yeah, yeah,
more
yeah.
the formulas. I don't because I just don't ever use it. So, like, I have a Google Sheets or whatever their thing is for their
Mhm.
Excel version that keeps track of my fanfic, but but other things are the
Important
same.
things. Yeah. No,
But
I have a Google so I'm pretty good in Excel, but I was an accounting major, so, like, that was kind of a
that would
part of
make sense.
but I'm not great at it. I would say I'm, like, low intermediary, and Google Sheets was a transition for me because the formulas are similar, but they're slightly different sometimes, and
Yeah.
actually, I think it's better, like, it does more dynamic
Oh,
linking things, like, it's smarter to me than Excel
yeah.
is, but,
I never something I don't know if this is definitely just a me thing, but I never fully learn the potential of things. Like, I'll watch a video and I'm like, "I've owned this MacBook for how long? Oh, I didn't know you could do that." Like, I
oh,
never
yeah.
just, like, learn the full potential of, like, any program or thing. I'm
I
like, "I know what to
yeah.
do. I know how to use it like this." But also with I doubt this has anything to do with it because obviously whatever they learn in schools, but it's just my way to segue to complain about the subscriptionification of everything.
Fuck
Because I
that.
remember when I had a CD that
Yeah,
I bought Microsoft Office 2007
yeah.
or XP, whichever ones was like the
And you
best
would like,
one.
you would be running, a 15-year-old version because you were too cheap
Yes.
to ever go get the upgrade,
Yes,
but
because
now
it
you
was
have no choice.
expensive.
I
And now
know.
they're like, "You're gonna pay every year." Excuse me?
Yeah.
I hate the subscription that's not a word, but
Yeah.
Adobe,
Adobe
Microsoft, like,
Adobe, I feel like, is the biggest offender. Like, part
the
of why I
fact
will not do Adobe Premiere or whatever,
no,
that's why I did
it's
Final
so
Cut Pro.
expensive. Yeah.
Final Cut Pro was expensive, I think it was like $200, but it was a one-time
Yeah. Well,
$200.
now it's 300.
Are you fucking kidding me? I
I
only
think
got
it's
mine like a
2.99
couple
because
years.
I need to bite the bullet, but every time I go to the thing, I'm like, "God damn it," and I don't do it, even though iMovie has been pissing me off. But yeah, I'm
iMovie
gonna go right
yeah,
now. Let me see.
yeah.
Final Cut. But yeah, I tried a trial of Adobe, and then I was seeing, like, the cost. I was like, "Y'all are out of y'all rabbit mind." Yes, it is
No.
$2.99 for Final Cut Pro.
I wanna say that when I got it, it was 2 maybe it was $2.99. I thought it
Apple,
was
I feel this
200.
is anti-black. I don't I'm like,
Well,
I
it's women
have
it's at least anti-woman 'cause it is Women's History Month,
yes!
so
I have almost every part of the Apple ecosphere. I'm not getting those stupid E thingies, but
oh,
MacBook,
yeah.
phone, watch, iPad.
You
I'm
shouldn't I
paying
get a
for storage.
discount?
I'm paying Can I get a hello? Can I have an
Yeah,
ecosystem discount, 20%?
but at least it's one time and you're done. Like, I
Yes.
paid that, I think, 4 years ago now, 5 years
Yeah.
ago, and I've not had to pay for it since,
Because
so
Adobe, if you cannot finagle or convince them to give you the college discount, because I don't know how, like, they if they check, Adobe could almost be or is over $200 a year. And
oh, it
that's
is
just well, I think
crazy.
you get access to, like, multiple things, but still,
So
I'm not using all that.
I had a friend who was still in college, and I got them to buy me the full Adobe suite at the college edition when I was probably, like, 23 or 24, 'cause I forget, I think I wanted to, like, make my own website for some reason, I don't even know why,
Ooh,
but
Mara.com.
yeah, exactly, I'm like in retrospect, I'm like, "Why did I think I was gonna do this?" But anyway, um, and so she got it for me, and it was, like, expensive, I think it was, like probably close to $200, but it was, like, the full suite, and it was not the subscription version, it was, like, the version you downloaded, and I tried to learn Adobe and thought it was, like, confusing as fuck and, like, had so
Yes.
much stuff I knew I was never gonna use that I was like,
It is never
"This
so
is
many
not
people
worth
are
it."
like, "No, you just gotta learn." I'm like, "No." I literally took
Final
a,
Cut
like
Pro is so
there was, like, a
easy here.
creator camp that I took for, like, 30 days with Adobe, and I still was like, "Huh?"
Yeah, I
It's
don't
not for me.
I'm sure it's powerful, I'm sure there's reasons to use it, but Final Cut
Yeah.
Pro is so easy. Like, if you're
Yes.
used to using iMovie, the move to Final Cut Pro is very
Yeah.
low barrier to
I'm
entry.
like, maybe if I was trying to go in the way of, like, being a filmmaker or something, like
Well,
an
but they
amateur
edit
filmmaker.
films in Final Cut Pro too, like, I
Oh,
don't
shoot,
know
yeah.
yeah,
I'm like,
I
Adobe, there's so much going it would take me forever to edit something. I was like, "I hate it here."
I mean, like, there's always a learning curve, but I found for Final Cut Pro, it probably took me 3 videos to be pretty good at it. You know what I mean? Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't
I downloaded a trial once, and it wasn't a huge shift from iMovie. I
yeah.
just have to bite the bullet and
It's just
just
the
swallow my
money.
pride.
I know, I know. I think I only did it because I'd gotten some extra birthday money from my
Mhm.
granddad, like, he had sold some coins or something, so he sent me extra money for my birthday, and I was like, "Thanks, papa,
I
that's
love
so
it.
nice." So I was like,
I need
"Okay,
to
well, I'll
have
go
a
ahead and do it."
video I need a video I need to get a really good video topic so I can get a lot of views, and then I'll feel like justified to
You're, like, like, doing the research on, like,
I'm
trending
like, "Let me
topics, what can
see,
we
who's
do here?
real messy or what book do y'all love that maybe I can shit on?"
Well, I mean, did you not make some good coin off of Kate Corain? Because I feel like that my
Oh,
timeline like, not just book
yeah.
people, like, multiple different corners of
That's
YouTube
probably
were
been one of my
posting on it.
best performing videos in, like, a year. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yep.
Ooh, Jesus.
Mm, yep.
Man, ugh,
Meds don't make you
oh.
racist.
Also, I'm not a psychiatrist, but if you are really going to somebody who is putting you all on that, they need to have a visit with the board or something because that seems wild.
Well, I will say I don't even know how to say this in a way that would not be problematic. Okay, so I'll just say that based on people I know who are in the mental health professional field, it does not surprise me that somebody was able to make that happen. There
Yikes.
are some I mean, Jodi Hildebrand, she was a
Oh,
fucking therapist, like, they're not
well,
regulated as well as people think they are.
ta-da.
Yeah.
Jesus, this
Hey,
is true. Get down. They said, "How did you catch me? I
I
was
can
being so
see.
quiet."
No, he's so cute. He's trouble. He wants attention right now, so he's like, "Mom, normally this is our snuggle time. Like, what are you doing?"
I know Nigel's down here looking pitiful with I'm like, "I'm sorry.
I know.
We'll be in bed soon,
I
buddy."
promise we're gonna have lots of snuggle time.
So, Mara, what's been going on over there? Where have we been?
I don't know. Where have you been?
Struggling I've been in the bed.
Yeah, I have been in my chair, dissociating and knitting. I knit the
Well,
sweater.
look at
I'm
her sweater. Oh my god, it's so good.
I'm so proud. It
That's
has
incredible. That started from some threat.
yeah.
That's wild to me.
The
A
um
bad bitch. We love to
I
see it.
I am hooked. I've made 2 shirts. I'm on in the middle of my 3rd. I just dropped something.
We love
Work has been insane, which has taken a lot of spoons. And then changing my meds.
Oh,
So that's
that's
a
always fun.
process. And,
So
you
knitting
know,
is relaxing once you are like in is it like
oh
more
yeah,
stressful in the beginning or once you're in and once you're into the piece, like it's flowing more?
it's just counting. Like you just have to keep count of things.
Oh,
So
that's
it's
not for
like
me.
that's all you got to think about. But that's like all that's like it takes up just the right amount of mental space.
Yeah.
Like
Where you could
just
just
the right amount
do you like
where
listen to an audiobook or have like
yes,
something in the back?
like I'll listen
Mm.
to an I it's like okay, I could do this or I could watch a genocide on my phone.
Hmm.
So I guess I'll do this. But that means that I've been a hermit because it's like I'm
Yeah.
trying to stay off my phone.
I
So
yeah. I haven't been off of my phone as much. I have like a little less social media. And
yes.
I've been approaching bookbinding, which has led to some injury. Well, this finger is getting a bit better, but then I did cut this one washing my
Oh my god. So Jess and I were texting and she was like, "Oh," she was leaving me a voice note. She was like, "Fuck," and like cut the shit out of her finger, and I was like, "Wait, what? Like, are you
I was
getting
like,
injured
"Is there
this
blood
year?"
squirting?"
Yeah, I was imagining like projectile like blood
Who is
spatter.
that movie? I'm trying to think of that. Who's the producer who does Kill Bill or whatever? I'm like,
Oh, Tarantino.
it
Yeah, it
was
was
not a Tarantino
yeah,
film.
yeah, yeah.
Luckily, I like only got it on some things, but like I was using a fabric cutter essentially, like a rotary,
See,
and
I
it was
can't be
supposed to be
trusted
going
with those kind of
along
sharp
my
tools.
ruler, and it
Yeah,
slipped, and it went. Yank.
yeah, no, I can't be trusted with those kind of sharp tools.
So this might be a dumb question, but when you knit, are there different fabrics or is it all one like different?
There there's different. So, like, the one I'm working on right now, like, the shirt is made out of a yarn that's a linen cotton blend.
Ooh,
So it's like a t-shirt. It's gonna be a t-shirt, so it's like summer fabric
nice.
versus what I'm wearing is a wool Surrey alpaca blend. So
Hmm.
it's, like, super warm for winter.
Yeah.
And then the sock I'm working on is a wool silk blend, so it's
Ooh,
like in between.
look at
Yeah.
that. That's. I wish I could make clothes. I'm struggling just
You
making a
can.
book.
You
Oh,
can if you want to. You don't have to, but, like,
yeah.
you just gotta get in there and, like,
It
go
just
for it.
seems
It
just the
it's
little.
not
Obviously,
that
it's different, but just a little sewing I have to do for my text block. I'm like, good god.
well, I think knitting is more approachable because you can like, the first thing I did was a scarf. It's
Hmm.
just like it's just a roll of fabric, you know? I mean, it has a pattern to it, but, like, you're not having to shape anything really.
Yeah.
So you start low and slow, and you build up and everything I've made, I've learned, like, new stitches or, like, new techniques and, you know,
Yes.
YouTube has lots of videos, and I have, like, a couple books that I look in whatever, so you if you can figure out how to fucking bookbind, you can figure out how to knit a
Oh,
scarf.
Jesus. I was like, I knew this was gonna be hard, but that is I think another thing with bookbinding is that, of course, I see all these other people's, and they could be lying, but some people will be like, "This is my
Oh,
first bind," and it looks I'm like, "It looks
it's
better than
like
published books I have on my
comparison.
shelf."
Yeah,
And so then I'm
yeah.
looking at mine like, this crooked.
Yours is
So, like,
great. The one that I saw, I thought looked fantastic. I could never do that. You also you have reinforcement to help you with the measuring, that would be
yeah.
my downfall. I have no
Yeah.
one to help me measure, and I would be completely screwed.
I was about to be like, "Oh, I guess this journey is coming to an end," because I don't obviously don't know how to use a ruler. I was like, "Wow, I really thought I had some basic skills. Apparently not."
Nope, nope. Yeah, I do that every t that's my hardest thing with sewing, is that I feel like I rarely measure correctly, and I will measure, like, 4 or 5 times,
Yes.
and
I'm like,
somehow it's still off.
yes. I'm working on my second bind right now, going a lot slower, and obviously my injury has sidelined me for a minute.
Yeah.
But when
You
I
have
was measuring the,
you have
like,
a an on the field injury. You were injured in the heat of the last game.
yes. When I was measuring the chipboard that's, like, for the actual hard cover, I was, like, sitting there and I'm, like, got my new rulers and I'm making sure it's actually level to 90 degrees, measure it so many times, cut it, put it over my text block, and I'm like, "How did I measure it too short?" Feel like
I
all
don't
this time, and I'm like, "I don't understand how I messed this up and had to do it again."
That is infuriating. Like, I don't know if there's just, like, gremlins who are changing the measurements on us in between things or what, but it's
I
like,
think that it
we're
has to be, 'cause I'm like,
college-educated women, like, why
I
is this so
looked at this.
hard?
I know, I'm like, "I lined up the ruler. I swear this was the source."
I made
This
I made my little mark.
yes. I
I've got
have my
something to help with.
90-degree ruler. I knew it's lined
Yes.
up. I'm looking at the text block. I added some on the side, and then I put it together. Too short.
No. This
It's
is why I need
gremlins.
patterns. Like, I have to do patterns in sewing because if I don't, I just, like, it doesn't matter how much I try to do the math, it just never works. Maybe I'm just not measuring myself correctly? That's a possibility because that is a
Oh,
little
that
harder
would
to
throw me
do.
off too.
Yeah,
That's
because maybe I'm just, like, not measuring consistently in the same place? I don't know. It's a mystery.
yeah, measurement. That is not my ministry.
No.
So it's like, yes, reinforcement, please. And then when I cut myself, I was like, okay, I guess I can't book mine without supervision. Yes, I can't measure it. I will injure myself.
Yeah, sometimes, men have to have a purpose.
They don't have many, but they have a few.
Measuring, that can be his
Mowing the
ministry.
lawn, I didn't want to do that today. So, I
Yeah,
mean, I never want to do it. So,
no.
there was that. But really, life has just been life and in time.
No.
I feel like we had like a couple podcasts, and then I was like, wait, and then
We
it
can
just didn't happen. I
I think
struggled to get one video up on my YouTube. So I was like, if
yeah.
Mara's not saying nothing, I'm good.
I I think the thing is that between us, we have to have a total of 1 person's worth of spoons,
Yes.
and I just don't know that that's been happening the last couple
Mm-mm.
times, so
No.
but, I
Shaking the
feel like
bag out. No
yeah,
spoons.
I mean, very few. But I think this is actually kinda good because it takes some pressure off of, like, we have to hit every 2 weeks. So, like, here you go, guys. Just so you know, we are officially abandoning, like, having to hit every 2 weeks.
Yeah, so
That's our
sorry.
goal, but
It's just it can't be every time life
it's really up
happens.
to it's between you guys and my Zoloft. Like, you
Yeah.
gotta take it up with Zoloft, not with me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, medicine I'm switching meds also, not just
oh,
one of my current roster,
yeah.
and I'm just like, "Can one of y'all just be I just want a magic pill, please. I'm tired of the
Tired
side effect,
of
like the new side effects and, "Oh,
mhm.
great. How drowsy are you gonna make me this time?"
Mm.
Or the last one I was taking, I consider myself a very hydrated girl, but this thing had my mouth feeling like a Sahara Desert, and I was just, like, chugging water, but then I kept waking up in the night to pee because I was drinking so much extra water, and I was like, "Bro, we gotta find something else.
It's like,
We
I
gotta
need
find something
I need
else."
an IV drip to, like, carry around with me throughout the day.
Yeah, and I'm
That
like,
is one of the when I go get my chemo, before they start my chemo, they give me saline,
"Mhm."
and I
Okay.
am it's a different kind of hydration. Like, it
It's
is
like, "You can't touch this,
y
okay?
yeah,
Gatorade who?"
it I feel refreshed. Even aside from the medicine, just that
Yeah,
hydration is pretty prime.
that's nice. Yeah, even when I was doing, like, a liquid IV to make sure because the medicine I was taking, like, it was, like, something about, like, watching and making sure you had enough sodium or whatever, and I still was like,
So did
"Water."
this make you, like, cotton-mouthed?
Not fully cotton mouth, but I just always was like, "Need more
Like,
water."
I'm a little parched. That is
Yeah,
very,
and
very
I'm a beverage goblin. I always got multiple
you
baddies.
I mean, one thing you are is, in possession of at least 1 beverage, like, at all times, yes.
Yeah, and I was like, "This is unacceptable." So, yeah, changing meds, work,
Yeah.
existing,
Just existing
watching
on this
our
planet.
government be worse every day.
Yeah.
It takes a toll.
I
So,
yeah. I mean, I know I don't wanna go too far into politics, but I will just say the people who keep being like, "You have to vote Biden because of Trump," I'm
yeah.
just like, "Okay, well, Roe v. Wade's done. Kids are still in
E
cages at the border, and
huh?
we're aiding and abetting a genocide." So, like, what
Well,
I mean,
and I
I'm
will
not
say
saying
that I fell into, like, the Project 2025 because 1, I didn't know that was an old thing, I thought it was new. I didn't know it was, like, a thing they just keep updating, and I definitely felt like that way for a little bit, but it's like but literally though, everything you just said, like, what is so amazing about what's going on right now?
it's aesthetic. It's like, is Biden, like, aesthetically a nicer person? Yeah.
I guess.
Like, I mean, if I was gonna pick one of them to have, like, dinner with, sure. Like, I could
Yeah,
not
I feel like at least he wouldn't
stand to
talk
be
as much.
yeah, like, I could not stand to be in the presence of Trump, whereas
No.
I think I could tolerate I mean,
And
I don't know.
I feel like I could have a decent conversation with Jill.
Yeah, oh, Jill seems pretty rad.
Mhm.
They have a cat that I'm into. I forget
Yeah,
what her name is, but they have a White House cat that seems super cute. So, like, aesthetically, I get that
yeah.
he's less, like, repulsive than Trump, but, like,
Kamala, her voice makes me laugh, and her
ooh,
perm or her press is always laid,
yeah,
so
yeah, it's true.
again, in those ways, sure. I mean, I would have to, not think about her time as what was she, the California prosecutor or the all
Like
the people she
yeah,
sent to prison,
attorney
but, I
general.
can for a dinner, yeah, I can look past that, mhm.
Yeah. So I'm just yeah, and I don't I also have the luxury of not being in a swing state, so, like, I don't have to think about it as hard, but it's just like,
Oh, yeah, both states where
if
I'm
you think
registered, South Carolina, Louisiana, no matter
yeah,
what, they go red every time.
yeah, so I guess if I was in, like, Ohio, maybe I would have a little bit more of a quandary, but I'm like, if you guys think that just threatening me with Trump is gonna do like, we survived 4 years with that asshole, and I don't think he has much time left on this earth just with all the money he's having to pay. I just keep waiting to find out he's had a stroke and died.
Oh, I'm
Like,
like, "What?" That's like the same thing anytime I see a headline with Mitch McConnell, I'm like, "Is he dead?"
yeah, every time
He's
I'm like,
out of my feed.
"Ew." Yeah, like, how are you? Gee, so I don't know. I think yeah. Anyway, I forget
I
why I brought that up. Oh, I think just because I'm really sick of seeing people, like, trying to fearmonger
yeah,
me into voting for
and
Biden,
the
who
more
was
videos I see from Amani, Crutches and Spice, I'm like, "He's
oh,
so correct every
a
time."
queen.
Every time, Amani.
Yeah.
And it's been really interesting watching well, I mean, all of her videos, but the
Yeah.
ones talking about Biden's lack of a campaign, like
Yes.
how they're
So
not
interesting.
doing anything. They're just like, "Oh, we're just not Trump, so
That's their
that's just gonna
platform.
work."
Their platform is, "I'm not Trump."
And I'm like, "Okay, but
Yeah.
sister." I will say, because isn't it this fall? Is it all of the Senate and House seats are up for reelection, or
It's
just
never all
or just
for
one of
Senate.
them? Or I can't remember. I
I think
know, like
the House is always all up.
those, I think are more important. Even I don't know. I can't express my thoughts here on the internet.
Well, the down ballot, I'm not saying I don't disagree that, like, in terms of overall policy and, like, the practical results of them, I would prefer the Democrats over the Republicans. I'm not saying don't vote for Democrats, but, like, if you think that
But the just
I
I'm not Trump thing for
vote blue no
Joseph
matter who
Robinette,
is just, like, not gonna do it for me.
'cause homie, I've seen your track record, Genocide Joe, okay? You
Yeah.
and your bestie APAC, okay? What you're doing now. What do you mean you're gonna send some food to Gaza, but you're not gonna stop sending bombs?
I
What is a meal gonna do if
Have
they're
you
being
seen
incinerated?
the children who are starving to death, Joe?
Oh
You
yeah.
you falsely
Um,
said that you saw 40 beheaded babies, which was a lie because that did not happen. Are you gonna
those
talk about the
images.
40 more than 40 children that are literally starving to death? Because
Yeah.
yeah.
The
Anyway, these are the
what
things that make life
Yeah,
life for us is like
exactly.
it's
I'm
like
like, "Ugh, I need more fiber," and then I see people in the north of Gaza using bird
yes.
animal feed to try to eat, and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Bitch, shut up." To
yeah, I'm
myself.
like, "Oh, nothing in the fridge looks good tonight. Oh, wait, I wasn't literally shot down trying to get flour?
Yeah. "Oh, I
Okay,
have a
maybe
fridge with food
maybe I
in
can
it?
just eat my
Okay.
yogurt." Yeah, you know.
I'll eat a salad. I'll shut
Yeah,
up."
yeah,
So, yeah, it's just, especially at the beginning, I just always feel guilty for saying, like, burnt out or, like, because I'm looking at it through a phone. But I definitely
yeah,
consumed a lot in the first couple of months where I've had to be like, or I was going to go insane. Like
yeah.
with just watching it and being like, okay, great, I'm crying on my phone and I can do nothing. I'm calling my stupid raggedy reps. Mine are Lindsey Graham.
I have
Okay.
Marsha Blackburn,
Um,
please. What am I supposed to I mean, Sister Lindsay
I
is also a
called, but
piece
I'm
of trash,
like,
but, like, oh my god, like,
Lindsay, freaking Tim Scott, boo.
eh,
And some other
yeah,
worthless bum. They're all worthless. I
they're
called
just
them though.
I've
I know
sent
they're
them
not gonna
so
do
much
anything.
mail, they're not gonna do anything,
I
but at least it's
emailed.
physically there to annoy them, that's the only
Um,
solace I have.
I
I
just
just
it's just like, yeah,
I th
it wears down on you.
it's not even that I'm burnt out, like, 'cause I'm not numb to what I see, like, I still cry every
Mhm.
day, but I
Oh,
think that what
same.
I feel yeah, right? The thing I think I feel burnt out about is, like, what this, like, revealed to me about our world, and
I thought my eyes are already open
I thought so
because,
too, I really did.
I will never I've never truly been a patriot. And as the years go by and more
You say as a
things.
military wife.
Nope. Um, and so I was like, and that was one thing, and of course social media is going to be divisive, but when the what was it called? Uh the Bin Laden letter was
Oh, yeah.
gaining traction on TikTok. Now there were some weirdos being like, Bin Laden was right. Okay, let's be real here.
Let's dial this
But
back. He
I
literally
think
murdered
that because I
however
was
many
like, I
people.
didn't know this was a thing. Let me read it. That's the thing. I just wanted to read it. And it was like, my thing for me was, I'm not Bin Laden was right, but just I didn't realize like that these things were even brought up that long ago with the
Yeah,
US. But again, back then I
how
just was
long it's
like,
been fomenting, like,
yeah,
this isn't, like, a new problem.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
just like always in the back of my mind, known about the Israel Palestine conflict. And it was just kind of that and whatever. But I only recently figured out, like, the extent, the depth of the
yeah,
relationship, the babyhood of Israel when it was
yeah,
created, the Nakba, all of that. I'm just like,
yeah.
it was like a
I
new layer lifted. And then
yeah,
I saw someone's TikTok who was like, I feel like a lot of us are talking about all these things that need to be changed, but they're like really big and we can't do anything. So like there's no hope, but like we have to have hope and we have to do little things. And I feel like I'm at a place where I feel very hopeless. Like I'm like, okay, I'm
yeah,
trying to boycott. I There haven't been any protests near me that I've been able to go to, but I'm
mhm,
trying to share things. So for other people, I've bought eSIMs for people in Gaza, the same thing, like calling our reps. But I'm like, it's not, they're still dying. So I just feel like, why?
I
Not what's
know.
the point? Like I keep trying, but I also just feel like I don't think anything's going to change because I'm also a pessimist. So
I know.
there's that.
I don't think the current situation is tenable, and I do think, like, we were talking about the Michigan uncommitted, vote. Um, yeah, that I think was really powerful, and it is not a coincidence that, like, a couple days later, Kamala is like, "We need a 6-week ceasefire."
Oh, but
So,
did you see
like,
her devious pause?
Jesus, I
She's
was
like, "We're a ceasefire for
for 6
6
weeks.
weeks." Girl.
Yeah, but it is slow,
Mhm.
but change is happening, and it's all, I mean, it's infuriating because it's like, if it would do anything, I would send any money I could right now
Mhm.
to try to help feed these
Yeah.
people, but nothing can get to them.
But then you see the
Um,
trucks sitting there
Sitting at the border
and
waiting.
civilian people
I know.
blocking. I was like,
Oh my god. Well, and, like, just the people who are trying to get in, like, I've seen so many, like, clips of, like, truck drivers who are, like, basically in tears being like, "Just let me in." Like, they, even
yeah,
aside from, I'm sure they're being paid to do it in some cases, like, they desperately want to take the things they have on their truck in.
yeah.
Like,
And they just have
so
them lined
yeah.
up and they're like, "Oh, love it. What can we do?" It's just so every day I've limited
Yeah.
my time on Instagram. Like I put the timer back on. It's only like
Yeah.
an hour a day for
Yeah.
many reasons. But when I do go on, I'm always like, okay, Bison is still alive.
Yeah.
And I just see her. I feel like she's been so strong for so long. And I feel like a lot of her real recent videos, she's been more emotional. And it just, I'm like,
Of
and
course.
someone asked if she was trying to leave, like Motaz left. And she's like, no, I feel like I need to stay here and doc. And, I don't know if that's an option for her to leave, but
Yeah.
she still was
Yeah.
like, I need to stay here for Gaza and like document this. And I'm like, she's a baby.
I know. I know. It's just
Not to
like,
like in a negative way.
well, but
She's
just like
only
she's
20, 25, 23,
what she
maybe.
has seen, and yeah. I mean, yeah. But anyway, all that to say, it is very hopeless inducing, but, like, if you look at where things were in October versus where they are now in terms of, like, pressure and public sentiment, it has and continues to move things. Like, it will eventually work. I just think that the tragedy and, like, fury of it is that it will be after thousands of people have died for no reason.
Mhm.
That's the part that is just like, "Okay, so we all know eventually you're gonna have to do this, so why don't you just do it now?"
Yep. Instead of later and then eulogizing. I mean, like, oh, for all those we lost. And it's like, well, you could have stopped that.
Oh, did you
Literally.
did you see that South Africa just refiled with the ICJ saying, like,
No.
basically, it was a writ or, like, a petition being like, "Bitch, they have not done what you told them to do. It's gotten worse, and you need to take action right now," and at the end of it, they cited the petition that the Bosnians put in to ask the ICJ to stop the genocide being perpetrated against them, and the
Dang.
ICJ declined to do anything. So it's like the words that they wrote asking, being like, "If you this is your last chance to help us, if you don't, this is gonna happen." Then it says, like, "The ICJ failed to act at the time, and X number of people died." However, post that happening, the ICJ retroactively agreed that it was a genocide. So, this is your chance to not repeat the same thing again. Like, and I was just like, "South Africa."
We love to standing on business in the
I
spirit of Nelson Mandela.
Yes.
Um, I am continuously floored at the I don't want to say
Fuckery of the ICJ? Or
irrelevance and competence of these big international
oh,
law players, but I'm I've known for a while, like, the UN really
Uh, but
um,
they continue to prove that they're completely
yeah,
pointless.
it's like they double down on it. They're like, "Oh, you think we're a worthless organization? Let me show
It's like, wow, what a great hypothesis. Let's test that.
and let's prove it."
Yeah.
Um, I I know about Bosnia, though, not enough. I don't know if we'll ever be
Ooh,
able to know enough about all of the global atrocities that have occurred even in the last 100 years. Hell, last 50.
girl,
But I so, like, I know and I've seen some people make comparisons, but I don't know, like, the in-depths of what happened there.
I'll report back because right now I'm in the middle speaking of audiobooks for my knitting, one of
Ooh.
them is called A Problem from Hell, which is a book I've been meaning to read for, like, 15 years,
Ooh.
and its entire point is how the US is always absolutely worthless when genocides are happening, and I just got through Cambodia.
Oh.
Actually, I think I no, I started Rwanda, and
Oh
up next
god.
is Bosnia, so
Does it just go through when does it, like, start? Like,
starts
year
with the Holocaust and, like, how those international laws about genocide got into place, definitely gave me some new heroes. I need to double check their names because 'cause I'm not remembering them right now, but I was
what'd you
like,
say it was called?
A Problem from Hell by Samantha Powers. Fun fact, Samantha Powers is now one of the US administrators who's, like, actively not doing anything about genocide, even though she literally wrote the book about how the US does nothing about genocide. Yep. We all live long enough to become that which we hate.
I I don't under I know we this is why you don't idolize people and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But let me tell you about Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, okay?
Oh, yep.
Well, I just
Well, and Bernie, you know what I mean? Like,
mm,
AOC, I mean, yeah, I had high hopes for her, but I at least she's a woman, she's a person of color. I wanna give her a little more room of, like,
yeah.
amount of power and, like,
And relatively
overall
young. I
dynamics.
just like,
But, like, Bernie, like,
come on, man.
fuck all the way off, like, an that yeah, all of them. I'm just like, "Don't miss me with any like, I just never try to take the moral high ground about anything ever again. Like, literally nothing. I don't wanna hear it. You have 0 Katie Porter.
Oh, oh! Ah,
Yeah,
my love of whiteboards.
I know.
Katie, when she used to read them for filth about, like, the
Yeah, I
average person trying to make their rent and all of that. So
Katie, maybe we could do a whiteboard for you about, how the average calorie intake right now for children in Northern Gaza. Would that help you understand the problem? Whew, my god.
mm,
Um, but
it's
yeah.
just
But yeah, Samantha Powers is another one of those, like, she wrote this
it's
book is, like, destroying
crazy.
me. It's
You
like,
wrote the book
she
and you're
literally
like,
wrote the book about how worthless the US is when it comes to
and
genocide,
then she said,
and now
"Well,
she is
let
a
me do
part
it."
of that machine, and it's like, it is very ironic and
It
somewhat
is
darkly comedic, but also so tragic, like, what?
yikes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. The,
Anyway,
not
this
to
is why we
transition
know
from
how to
this
let
lovely
us move.
topic.
We know how to let us move because these are the things that we're spending our time
Exactly.
thinking about.
They're weighing me down.
Yeah.
Another thing that eats my spoons, burns my biscuits, really churns my butter.
Ooh, churns your butter, that sounds kinda great.
I know, let me
Right?
maybe take that one back.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like and I have a video, it's very short, that's going up tomorrow because I
Oh.
it's very short because I don't have the language for it. I'm trying to figure it out, but I feel like and this is just me,
Mm.
but another reason that I'm like not on Instagram as much right now is I feel like there's been and I don't know when it happened, but a weird shift in the book community. It feels weird. It feels different than it has to me in the past.
Mhm.
And I cannot put my finger on it. I don't know if it's like were very just heavily aesthetics focused. I don't know if it's the people coming from lifestyle into booktube world. I don't know if it's
That's what I think it
book
is.
talk.
I think it's that, and there's a lot like, I think there's an influx of people who which I'm not necessarily I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing. I think there's a lot of people who are not originally bookish content creators coming in,
Mhm.
and there's a lot more people reading who are then looking for things in online spaces about books,
Yeah.
and it's changing the vibe.
Yes. And it
I
just
completely
doesn't
agree.
feel
I
I don't like it.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't so that actually when I was filming the video, that part I was missing. I was like, what? I would literally was just like, I don't know.
I think that's what it is.
Um, and yeah, just a lot of that. And even just some people that I follow are in the, I don't know. I feel like the way they use Instagram or marketing or something, all of it in combination has just made me feel weird. And I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I smell what you're stepping in. Yeah. I think so.
You
But
see me. Thank you.
yeah. Well, I mean, like, I'm watching I don't know. Again, I'm also obsessed with knitting right now. I get very hyper fixated on my obsessions. But I've been watching so much knitting content, and it's like, "Oh, this feels like OG, like, back in the day book content."
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just, like, not as
But
polished. They also call all of their videos, podcasts, even though they're not podcasts. It's I for some reason, I find that very charming. Like, it's very cute.
yeah,
And, like,
the
it's not that
early
they're poorly
days,
shot or something, it's just it doesn't have the same sort of, like,
I
polish, I guess, or, like
yes, because even a couple years ago, it didn't feel like this, and I don't know if it's I think it's maybe a combination of the lifestyle people, plus, like, I know a lot of people who maybe were on Book Talk are now also doing
I think that's a
YouTube
lot of
videos,
it, yeah.
and I know that aesthetic has always been a thing, but I feel like it's increasingly more so about visuals and how things look and less just about like
TikTokification of booktube.
yeah, and I'm like trying to like find words to maybe like make a coherent video about it, but I'm like I can't
Yeah.
I don't know what it is without sounding like a hater and like oh you're just jealous cuz your channel's flopping like but also
Okay,
I just
your
haven't
channel's doing better
enjoyed
than mine, so is mine
watching
flopping?
content as much either. And I'm just like, because I'm like, we still have the same thing, right? We still have the popular authors, whatever. There's small creators out there if you want to find them, but there's something about even people that I would watch regularly where I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't, I
Yeah,
don't know.
I mean, yeah. I don't know what it is. I'll have to check out the comments on that video when it goes live,
Oh God, I'm
to
nervous.
see what people's hypotheses are, but I think it is something about the lifestyle people coming in and, the TikTokification of YouTube.
Yeah,
Um,
because it is and I've grown to love TikTok after shitting on it for a while, but it is just different. And I know I think TikTok also started something where they were like people have been doing videos like in like landscape and like longer videos. And I'm like, I'm not turning my phone
the only
to
listen
watch
here,
this.
the only person who can make me watch a 10-minute long TikTok is Risa Tisa, okay?
Oh my god. Oh my god, that has to be our next video. I
Uh,
still have so many thoughts.
oh, yeah, we've been going for a while, we shouldn't do it now. You're
No.
right. With that
Yeah.
okay. I mean, I don't
We'll
wanna
have
make
to
promises, we're not good at promises, but we sure
no.
have to talk
I'm
about
gonna
Risa
try to build
Tisa.
up my spoons, okay?
Okay.
But have you seen any
We're
of the
gonna
videos
start.
from Legion?
Oh, I surely have. I surely have. Even just the reveal of him being like, "Oh, girl, you have
I wanna
rose-colored
go back in
glasses."
time and really speak life into my sister and be like, "Girl, you don't need 'em,
And
not that bum,
I
no."
will say, I think the context of it being the beginning of COVID is
Yeah.
crucial to that story.
Yes.
Not only in what he was able to get
Yes.
away with, but also just her mindset because, like,
Yeah.
we were all a little crazy
And
from
lockdown,
March
and
2020 to, like,
we have all
July
been
2021. Like, it was a time.
I still there was a tweet the other day and it was like, this was the last this day, March 5th or whatever. I don't know. I feel like we locked down in Italy earlier than the US did, but it was like
You did,
this
yeah.
day, whatever, March 2020 was like the last normal day we had. And I still can't get over that because nothing has felt the same since then. Time doesn't feel the
Yeah,
same. It feels like it's gone by exponentially faster. It feels like people's like general attitude towards other people has gotten worse. Um,
yeah.
we
Well, and I had emergency surgery the first day of lockdown here.
Oh my god.
So, like, it was compounded for me of,
Yeah,
like, and that was, like, what precipitated my autoimmune disease diagnoses, like, that it's such a weird time
yeah,
for me
and
for that
it's
reason too, and it was a
oh,
week
I didn't
after I got
realize
the
it started
cats,
that.
like, or
Damn!
and there were so the beginning of March, the 1st week of March, there were devastating tornadoes in my neighborhood, like, a half mile away from me, it destroyed the
Mm,
neighborhood. A week later, I got my cats. A week later, I had emergency surgery, and we locked
damn,
down. So,
damn.
like, that month was just so crazy, and yeah, like, life literally has never been the same since.
No,
And I'm sure everybody has
and
their own version of why that what their
yeah,
crazy lockdown
and we've
situation
just had,
was.
like, a collective like, for our time, massive, like, loss of people, and then it was like, "Okay, back to work."
Yeah, that was the first, warning shot of like, "Oh, man, we really don't give a damn about each other, do we?
Nope,
Okay.
no. They're like, "Oh, wear a mask," and people are like, "Ugh," and just those
How dare
behaviors, and
you?"
then all of the people that died, and they're like, "Ah, where are all these," and just
Weird. We don't
the clapping
weird,
for
where are all these
nurses
people?
and, like, saying that people in, like, fast food and all these things were essential workers, but, like, where is their pay or where's their respect now? And even with nurses
Mhm.
and the shortages of freaking PPE and, hand sanitizer because people were, like,
Toilet paper.
buying it up. Oh god, toilet paper.
The
Buying it
toilet
up and
paper
trying to
run.
resell it. I'm just like,
Yeah.
"I'm so sorry. Evolution made a mistake with humanity."
I mean,
That's just
so all that to
terrible.
say, Miss Risa, like, I get it. I mean, I don't looking at him, but then when I think about it with, like, March 2020 glasses, I'm like, "Okay, like, I see how this
Maybe
happened."
he looked different then.
Maybe he looked different. He and
Maybe
I mean, I I haven't seen if this is totally confirmed, but I believe he has HIV.
I would believe it.
Like,
Okay,
or
towards the
he's in
end of that
Facebook
story,
groups for HIV, and then he had, like, some skin things that I guess people
yeah.
were
Oh my
saying.
god. I've
So
seen that. I
yeah,
didn't know that, but the end of the story when he's, like, deteriorating in bed, I'm like,
that's what I
"What?
think.
What
Yeah,
is it?
but
What was it?"
I think it might have been HIV, and thank God she's confirmed she's healthy. But, like,
I'm just like, I know I don't wish a miscarriage on anybody, but girl, if you would think about having a baby with that man.
so I watched it through by myself, and then I rewatched it with Hassan, and he kept being like he's like, "The Lord is trying to talk to you. Why are you not listening?" He's like, "The Lord himself has taken this baby away."
He is out of pocket. But I was thinking the same.
I
I
think
was like,
well, I think she even says
let
that.
me
I seen her
Mara.
say, like, I was not listening to the Lord." That's her takeaway
No.
is, "I was not listening to God," and I'm like,
She was like, I
"I
was
don't
just
believe
like,
in God,
"No."
but you're not wrong." Like, sure.
I remember listening to it while I was doing stuff. I'd be cooking, walking night or whatever, and I would just, like, stop and be like, "Oh,
What?
all
I
cash
would guess.
offer? What?" I'm like,
Twin?
"No."
What? That was my biggest, like,
$900,000 house,
"What?"
you're not gonna show proof of funds? Now, this may be one of the
And
lesser
private citizen, that was the other one that I
oh god.
literally went, "Girl."
I'm not listed. My dad paid first I was like, "Oh
I'm a
my god,
private
is he
citizen.
about to be a sovereign citizen
That's what I thought
nonsense?
too.
Because that would track."
I wonder if that's what he meant, but he didn't know what it was called.
I feel like that's what he meant. One of the lesser offenses, which is saying is, but let me tell you what, if Andrew sat up here and said you need to be home between 2 and 4 for your Audi to be delivered, and I'm sitting here and ain't no goddamn
And I
vehicle
took off
showing
work.
up.
Yeah.
Also,
How did that
why
ever
are you taking her
resolve?
to a random person's grave? What is wrong with you?
That was one of the wildest ones to me. Like, when I realized that was the trajectory, because she went out of her way to say that, like, he stopped by this like, she was very deliberate about
Yeah,
talking about that, and I was
yeah.
like,
She was
"This is
like,
not their
"Remember that."
grave." Yeah,
I'm like,
I'm
"Damn,
like
I need a notebook."
she would say, like, "Stick with me," and I'm like, "Girl, I am sad, like, I
Yeah.
can't look away if
We
I
not
want
going to
to."
she's like, "That's gonna be important." I'm like, "Okay. Mhm, mhm, mhm."
Okay.
I'm like,
I have
"Nigel,
seen
shh, be quiet."
seen lots of people being like, "ADHD cured. All I needed
Yeah,
was Reese's." I was like, "Yeah."
'cause I was like, "Next," and then I would, like, after a few parts, I'd update Andrew, and he's like, "What?" I'm like,
What?
"I
I
know. Let me
know.
get back."
It was
I
so
mean, the way she pumped that out in, like, 3 days,
God
sister
bless her.
girl, give her an Emmy.
Well, and apparently his brother lives in Nashville, and, like, I'm curious. He's apparently, like, well, I don't wanna spoil it for people if they've not seen it, but anyway, his brother, the twin, lives in Nashville, and I kinda wanna
Mhm.
find out who he is.
Ah, what a ride.
But yeah, we should do a full
Yeah,
debrief on
because 'cause
that.
I've got so much to say.
So much to say. But
Yeah,
that
that's a
was
full
that that
hour.
that tore me away from knitting just to watch all 20 hours of that or whatever it was. Because then I watched the live. Did you watch her live?
No, I didn't get to see that.
She saved it. There's a
Ooh.
playlist on her
Oh, I'll have to go back.
because she further clarifies a few things that it was like, "Oh, interesting." But
Lord have mercy.
stay
That
with me. Remember
Lee.
that. I'm like,
Girl, look, I remember listening to part 1 before she even met the man, and I was
"Yeah,
like, "Uh-oh,
you're doing a well, no." I
uh-oh."
listened to part 1 and was like, "You're doing a lot right now. Like, what are you talking?" But then, like, 3 parts later, I was like, "Oh, no, no, okay,
Just
she
the
was right."
first or when she said the first conversation that they had and all the things he was sharing, I was like, "Uh-oh. Why is he well, he's given a lot.
He
He's setting up a lot, setting a lot of groundwork here."
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I have thoughts, but we'll I don't want us to get too
Yes.
far down that road.
Okay.
Can I give an update that makes me really happy? I already shared it
Yes.
with you, but I
Yes.
am delighted to report that Sarah Boone has gone through another lawyer, and she is officially on lawyer number 8, everyone.
Is she gonna make it to 10? Is she gonna round it out to a
I don't
nice
know.
10?
Her new lawyer is this lady, and I saw this lawyer go on her website and look at her bio, and it seems like she is no BS. And I don't know if she's had a female attorney yet, but I wonder if some of her shenanigans wouldn't work as well on a female
It
attorney.
feels like and I don't remember them all. I feel like all the ones you've told me about have been men.
So far,
With
they've all been
somebody, I'm like, I understand you're gonna waive your right to a speedy trial, but what about the victim's family? I feel like they should have a say in that, and
I
we need to
know.
wrap this up, girl. You need to
Well,
stop.
I've seen a couple of people because, like, now that she's on 8 more and more, it's like, what's gonna happen? It's like she very well might get to a point where she has to represent herself. Like, the court will just say, like, this is it. This is your last attorney if you can't make it work with them.
Ooh,
Because
Jesus.
the dude who just quit, and good for him, he was in and out. He saw the writing on the wall quickly and was like, I'm good. Because she wrote a letter complaining about the new guy and was like, "He's not talking to me, like, this is the number ti blah, 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 blah," and he came back and his motion was like, "You're not gonna lie on my name." Like, he, like, was like, "That is not true, and we need to part ways because I have an ethical conflict with the direction that she has given me."
It's just
Which means
like,
that I think she's saying she's gonna lie on the stand, that's my theory, and they can't
mm,
knowingly abet that.
yeah. Is there, like, a budget limit? Because obviously they're
No.
public defenders, so, like, is there like, "Okay, girl, we've paid all these people, you ain't gonna have no more money left for us to pay
Well,
any other
I think that's part of why at some point, they'll just say she can't have
shuffle."
any more lawyers because
Yeah, she's wasting public resources.
oh, yeah.
Sister
Which
girl.
I'm kind of okay with, like, I do feel like everybody should have as much of a defense as they can get,
Oh, yes.
but for her, it's just like
But she is just, like, being redonkulous and going through these different attorneys where I'm like,
yeah,
"Yeah, you pay an attorney and pay them well,
yeah,
and a public defender should still be able to hire experts and
yeah,
stuff and all of that,"
yeah.
which the cost is ridiculous, but yeah, she like, you're so disgusting. It's
She's so
you recorded it.
okay, Jess. So after we did our full episode, I listened to an interview that the police did immediately after with her neighbor,
Mhm.
and I have a new theory of the case. Which other people I'm not coming up with this fresh, but I
Yeah.
never understood why people thought this until I heard this.
Oh.
The neighbor said he heard them fighting upstairs, and then he heard a really loud crash of something falling down the stairs. So what I now think happened is that she pushed him down. He got concussed because remember he had an injury on the back of his head,
Mhm.
and she thought he was dead. So she started putting him into the suitcase to get rid of the body, and then he woke up while she was doing that. And she couldn't let him out because
That would make sense.
that's my new
That makes
theory.
more sense than
He got
this
into
grown man got into a suitcase playing hide and seek.
yeah, that never made any sense. So,
None.
like, that makes more sense to me now that I heard that interview. I was like, "Oh, I see why people think that, and that actually makes a lot of sense." So, I don't know. It's a very sad situation, but she is just absolutely Looney
Taking
Tunes.
no responsibility for it because
None.
she was having a good night. They were having fun.
They were painting and playing.
I hate
Okay,
her.
Jess?
Can I get my Dr. Pepper? No.
I left my cigarette out on the back porch. Come back
Actually,
here.
ma'am?
I'm
No.
I'm so parched.
Just
Oh,
outrageous.
yeah.
Outrageous.
So she's now on lawyer number 8. We'll see if she actually goes to trial in April. I don't think that's likely.
Good grief. Speaking of trial, shouldn't Chad Daybell be going to trial soon or something?
Well, his lawyer petitioned to get removed from the case, and then that was denied, but I think maybe they got an extension. I don't know. It was supposed to
I
be happening, but there's been some things going on with that case, so I'm not sure if it's actually gonna go to trial
hmm.
this year anyway.
I need to get back on my lawyer tube. Get caught up.
Well, Natalie's been not
I
on
know.
very much,
I'm
so
like, girl, how dare you be doing your actual job and
how
not
dare you be actually defending people in
come
our legal
on.
system? Uh, the only one that I've really kept up with or, like, that have had major things was the whole Ruby Frankie and Jodi Hildebrand thing because they actually pled guilty and that we never even we were gonna cover it. I guess we should
Oh
still,
yeah. We can. I
now
saw a
that we actually know
TikTok.
what happens.
I don't know if it was real, but it said that Jodi Hildebrand's house is up for sale and there were like pictures of it inside and I'm like, who built that? It looks like a Mormon prepper house actually, now
Somebody
that I'm
with
thinking of
too
it.
much money and very little taste,
Mm.
and it
It's
definitely
a
looks
lot of
like a prepper house.
space.
It's a prepper house for sure.
Yeah. I'm
It's a
like,
house
because
where
why we
you
got
have
all
your
these
polygamous wives.
rooms, then room within a room?
Yeah, yeah, it's a I have several wives, but nobody knows kinda
Yeah.
house.
Ugh. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's still so much that we can make episodes on, and as we collect the spoons, we
We
shall.
will, we will.
You just gotta
You
stay
you
tuned.
just gotta yeah, we can't promise consistency, but we can promise quality, I think.
Yeah.
If you consider this quality, then we can promise it.
Amen.
Mhm.
So hopefully there'll be a Risa Tisa episode
I feel like that'll be a fun
soon.
one that we can
Yes. Yes.
yeah, just yeah. I'm
That
trying
really
to
just
think
brought
what
the
else
internet. I love when the internet can come together for a moment.
I know, and it was a nice break from my timeline and what's normally on it.
Yes.
but I don't know. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that was fun that's happened recently, but
Mm,
most of it feels pretty bleak.
fun.
Oh, I'm not watching Love Is Blind, but it seems like that's a mess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
A
I've seen
hot ass mess.
I've seen lots of TikToks of people's husbands being extremely invested in it.
Yes. It is. I'm convinced, between this and, like, I've been a Married at First Sight fan. This is the first season of Married at First Sight that I
Oh,
have not watched to
an
completion because it
OG.
was so boring. Um, I feel like Love Is Blind is, like, purposely, and, it's not some revelation, but purposely casting these people who know, like, don't wanna actually get married or who are people in relationships. Like, what is going on? And then you have the other person who's like, "No, I really am here to find my true love." And so, of course, it makes for people talking about it and maybe people more watch, so maybe that's what they're doing, but
I'm sure it is, but
mm.
that's the only I'm trying to think if there's a that's yeah. I mean, I have cat content on my timeline. Um,
Mine's like, obviously bookbinding, a lot of conversations. Unfortunately, there's been more conversations on my FYP about Joanne because of that large book talk creator who I don't
who
like,
is that? Who
Kiara
I
Lewis. I don't know if you watched the video I did about that hockey drama with the
yeah, yeah,
girl who
yeah,
was like
yeah.
the kind of like this it's her. She has like over 1 million. I don't know. I
Again?
blocked her a long time ago. Yes. Because someone was like, it seems like she rebranded. And so she's reading Harry Potter as an adult for the first time. And of course, snot crying, screaming about it in the video. I'm like, girl, please. So people are up in
Can't
arms
you
about
just read
that.
Percy Jackson?
I
Miss ma'am? Like,
I'm like, when I read that as a child, a teen, I didn't have that reaction. So I'm gonna need you to. She's just so fake. It's ridiculous. You are
it
not snot
feels
crying over this book. Like, whatever. And yeah, I'm sure she still has over 1 million followers or whatever on Book Talk. But like, even it was on like Andrew's Instagram Explore page. Two of my like in real life friends who are not on the bookish internet sent it to me. I was like, do not ever send me that woman again. Block her or don't send it to me. I don't ever
I
want to
don't
see her
watch
shit
people
again.
who sexually harass other people, like
No, it's not my thing.
yeah,
But
even
then
aside
people
from,
have been
supporting a turf.
having conversations like, well, since that, should people really be talking about HP fanfic? Because that's going to lead people to read HP and support Joanne. And I'm
Well,
like,
isn't HP fanfic one of our is it sort of like methadone for it's like the methadone clinic to get you off Harry Potter. Like, I feel like that's a part of its purpose.
literally. And it's like, I'm like, and so many fanfic writers, like if you go look at them, where they have to say, like, this is not my work. Most of the ones I've seen are like, fuck her. I'm fuck the turf. This is not mine.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know. So I've been seeing that, and I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I agree with that line of thinking. Like, to me, that's
No.
part of what fan fiction does is
Yeah.
help get you off the hard stuff. Get you you know?
Yeah. And it's like, H people make it gay.
No. Make it trans.
Yeah.
Make it
All the flavors, it is there. There's so much of it. Like, I don't think what Kiera is doing is good. I think that's like actively platforming it,
yeah,
but fan fiction
I don't think so.
is the
But people should
freebies.
just read Uncle Rick because Uncle Rick has a trilogy where the romance is between the main character and a trans character.
Mm. Uncle Rick. I read through the Percy Jackson. I loved his Kane Chronicles more. But
I still
just
haven't read
because
those.
I'm
I
not
need
a
to.
big Greek mythology girly, but that one was Egyptian. So I had a
Yeah.
good time with
I've been
that.
I've been saving that one up. I've got Kane Chronicles, and then I've got Trials of Apollo still, um, and I think then I'll have read all of them from him, but anyway, I feel like those at least stand up in terms of, like, inclusion and him not being a horrible person slash, like, trying to use his platform to actually, like, help people in marginalized groups have more
It's just flabbergasting to
coverage.
me. Flabbergasting to me. I'm like, imagine being so rich and you could just be so quiet.
Can I just tell
I,
you, if I had that kind of money, you would never hear from me again.
no. Goodbye.
I would be in my castle in Scotland counting my money and wearing,
I would
my pearls,
delete
and
my every trace of myself on the internet.
I'd be swimming
Goodbye.
in my doubloons.
So sorry, YouTube
Ma-
footage of me and Nigel gone.
Scrooge McDuck style, just
Because never to be heard from again.
I don't understand it.
You are
Yeah.
not gonna know me. I'm probably gonna go permanently. I'm gonna change my name so my family members can. I am off the grid.
Yeah.
Except I'm gonna still have internet, in my house. But I just can't. Like Suzanne Collins, I don't know what that heifer look like. I don't know nothing about it. She
Yeah,
wrote
good
them
for her.
books, and she said, "Oh, that it would be so simple."
That's yeah.
And
I,
yet, you raggedy bitch. Oh well.
yeah. Well, on that note, I guess next time
That's
we'll
it.
talk to you about Risa Tisa, who's the opposite of a raggedy bitch. She's an absolute
Yes.
queen, if somewhat naive. But there's worse things to fault someone for than
Yeah. Trying to give people the
naivete.
benefit of the doubt.
Yes, yes.
Trying to see the good in somebody.
Having a little bit of rose-colored glasses, Um, but
Yeah.
we'll be back when we're back.
Yeah.
Manifest spoons for us.
Please.
But in the meantime, just can people find you anywhere? Are you findable?
I mean, I still post a little bit on Instagram, said by Jess, TikTok. I made a
Mhm.
random one the other day
I
because
saw it,
people watch Love is Blind at the fucking crack ass of dawn. I'm
and they
like,
were
good
spoiling
God.
it for you.
Good God. That's said by Jess, and then I still am trying to post once a week on my YouTubes, which is Jess
Mhm.
Owens. I am posting a lot more on my Patreon though, which
Oh,
is
nice.
patreon.com/Jess Owens. Yeah, right now I'm suffering for my patrons reading My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey, and I think it's killing me and all of my brain cells.
Saw that. Yeah.
Mara, I think it was written by AI. It is atrocious.
Oh, wow. See, I've read some things from her in the past I liked, but it was before she blew up. So I wonder
Yeah,
if the quality has gone down.
I liked the what happened whatever that super popular one was, that was kind of based on Schitt's Creek. What
Oh,
happened
yeah,
this
yeah,
summer or
yeah.
something, and the second one, I
It
actually
happened
really
last
liked those.
summer or one summer. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
someone sent this to me, even like I just have a gift, and so it was that amongst some other romance books. Anyway, they voted on this one, and I feel like I know why y'all voted on this one, but you want me to suffer.
Yeah.
And this, I'm like,
Raggedy.
I do not believe human hands wrote this.
Well, somebody had
So
to pioneer ChatGPT for authors, so why not her?
anyway, where
That
can we
book had
find
a lot
you?
of problems too with its cover. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I remember that's the main thing I know of that book from. You can find me at least once a week on YouTube. I am still doing that. You can find me on Goodreads. You can find me occasionally on Instagram and TikTok, but probably not posting much. You mostly find me knitting. So, yeah.
Are we gonna get a knitting vlog?
I don't think so, but I do think at the beginning of next year, I'll do a, everything I knit in a year, 'cause that,
Yeah!
has been my go-to comfort video type for the last month, so
I know there was a booktube creator. I don't know if she posts anymore. It was like Artisan Geek.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I feel like she knits and came across my TikTok maybe a couple weeks ago and was like all the things I knitted. And I was like, hey, I haven't seen her face in a long
I
time because I don't think she
know.
posted booktube anymore.
I don't
So
think so. I should double check, but
that
yeah.
was I was like, oh, I love like
There's
seeing
definitely a
someone like it's almost
mhm.
like in the wild. I know it's not like in
Yeah.
real life, but I'm like, this is a different place. Look
Well,
at
like, the first
you.
time I see someone from BookTube show up on my TikTok, it's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
I know
doing
you."
here.
Yeah. There's a very high overlap of crafters and book readers, so
Yeah. Ariana, what are you doing here?
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, anyway, you can find us those places, and you'll find us back here
sometime.
sometime soon, hopefully.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. And I just realized we never actually did an intro, so let's do
Oh,
that anyway.
I did not. I just started flapping my gums.
Me too. I was like, we got about 5 minutes and I was like, oh, we never actually did an intro, but